Hey, what's up, guys? This is Jay.
This is D. Welcome back to the cast.
Welcome back to the Shadow Room, guys. We appreciate you guys checking back in with us. We're excited to get this going again. This will be podcast number 2 for us. And today we're actually going to be talking. We decided actually to take a new route and not just kind of ramble on about random things. We're going to actually start talking about, different ideas that come to mind. Like this week, we actually want to talk about schools, college, and
Is it worth it?
yeah, is it worth it? Are kids going to school too early or college too early? Is the new route kind of trade schools? Is that the way people should be going now? Because colleges are just not what they were meant to be or what they were in the past, I guess. So I guess let's just go. I mean, what's your take on that, D? I mean,
It's a good question because I've for the longest time I felt like super weird about not going to college. I mean, I did my associate's degree,
yeah, same.
and then I wanted to go and I planned on going, but I didn't have the money, and I wasn't going to bury myself in some financial pit where
Yeah.
for the rest of my life I have to pay for that. And I thought that growing up, I thought like, oh, all these other kids' parents are rich, and that's why
Mm-hmm.
they can go, or like they've got the loan thing figured out, and somebody's helping them,
Yeah.
and that's
Or
why they can go.
financial aid.
Yeah, or the financial aid thing, whatever it was. I didn't have any of that, so
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm not going to bury myself. And now, growing up, come to find out, now everybody I know is just buried in student
Oh
loans.
yeah, and that's the biggest thing. I mean, and that's kind of what we're getting at is, are people going to school now and just kind of deciding or figuring out, wow, I'm buried in student loans. I have 30, 40 grand in student loans, and I have a bachelor in sociology, and it's like, what the hell do I do
Right.
with this?
Exactly.
And I think that's where it's kind of getting into play, where are people going into school too early, not knowing what they want to do, what they want to achieve later in life. Because I mean, myself, I'm 27, D's 27 as well. And right now I would even say I don't really know what my plan is in the future. I don't know
No.
where I mean, I'm in sales now, so is D, but it's like, is that what I'm going to continue to do?
Exactly.
Or what, and my wife right now, she went to school. She went to San Diego College, and she graduated with a bachelor's in psychology. She thought she was going to work with children, do all kinds of stuff. Well, she got into that field, and not going to say she hated it, but she loved it at first, but realized it was so draining,
Yeah.
physically, mentally, just completely draining, that it was a lot more than what she actually wanted to do. And it was like, this isn't what I really expected. And now she doesn't even actually work in that field at all. She doesn't use her degree at all. But now she's like, wait, I want to go back to school again. And now she's thinking about going on the line of like cosmetology, beauty end of it, because that's what she loves to do. That's literally what she
Yeah,
loves
but
to
think
do.
about that, how much time it took her to finally figure out
Exactly.
what she actually wanted to do.
And
And that's something that I was talking to my wife about it, and I was
Mhm.
like, really, like, why does she want to go that route? She's like, well, she's wanted to do this for a while, but she just
Yes.
never did it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so interesting. You pay all this money and you have these expectations of what your life should be,
Yeah.
and then you've got 4 years of high school, because nobody's thinking about what they want to do when they grow up. Realistically, what they want to do, like when they're in middle school. So then in high school,
You have a handful
yeah,
of people.
I mean,
really
yeah, I wanted to
do
be a
stuff.
veterinarian or an astronaut, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
And then high school, I was partying. Like, I
Hey,
wasn't
oh,
thinking
yeah.
about college or anything else. And then all of
I
a sudden,
barely graduated high school.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie. I graduated with a 1.83.
did you really?
AP? Yeah, yeah. GPA 1.83. I almost said APR because of sales.
I can get you
Uh,
a 1.83.
Yeah, I literally graduated with a 1.83 GPA. I almost failed, but it was our senior pep rally, and it was our last one. It was kind of everyone walking out, and I'm thinking like, wow, this is fun and all, but I'm not even going to graduate. I just failed my English class, and I'm going to have to repeat. I'm going to be a super senior. I don't even know what I'm going to do. Am I even going to go back to school? Am I just going to say fuck it and go somewhere and just do something else and try to figure it out, you know?
At that point, you have no idea what you want to do.
Exactly. And
let alone like what you want to study in college.
Yeah, exactly. But I got stopped by that teacher at the end of the row as we're like walking through a tunnel of all the teachers. And she goes, "Hey, I found a paper. You're going to pass my class."
What?
With a D.
Dude, you didn't tell me this.
Yes, dude.
I didn't know this.
So she goes, she's like, "I found a paper." And she's like, "I'm going to pass you." And I was like,
was it just somebody's paper? Somebody else's paper?
I think she's full of shit. I don't think she actually found a paper.
Oh, dude. Like she said she found like maybe one of your missing homeworks
one of my
or
homeworks,
something?
my assignments, one of the essays that I had to do. She's like, "I found it. And it was a good paper, so you'll be passing with the D." And I was like, holy crap.
Never saw the paper though?
I never saw the paper. No.
Yeah, she
never showed me anything. But I think it kind of... Sorry. And this is another thing. Through high school, people go through a lot of change.
Absolutely.
Mentally, physically. I mean,
think about
people
that.
Are going through...
You're going through puberty.
Exactly. Well, I went through one of the biggest changes of my life.
Yeah.
I actually had, and this is kind of why I went down that road. I had lost my mom at 17, which was end of junior year going into senior year. And so senior year was just kind of like, what's left for me? I don't give a shit. Like, just go.
Yeah.
And so obviously I did that, but she actually passed me, and I was just like, holy crap, I'm going to graduate. Cool. And I graduated, and I was like, but what do I do next? I didn't plan to go to college. I didn't care to go to college because school's not for me. Well, it happened to be like, what, 4 years later, my employer decided to say, "Hey, we'll send you to school to do computers."
I remember that.
And I was like, well, I don't know if I want to get into computers. That's not really my calling. And she goes, well, if you do it, she's like, up front, we'll give you a 30 grand raise.
Nice.
And I was like, holy shit. At the time I was 21, something like that.
Yeah.
And I was already making like 40 to 50 grand a year. And she's like, I'll give you a 30 grand raise. I'm like, wait, I'm going to be making 80 grand at 2021. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I'll go to school. And they were going to pay, they paid X amount. I forget what the percentage was, but I still got stuck with student loans, which I'm still stuck with today.
Are you really?
Oh yeah.
From where you went for that?
For the computers. Yeah, dude.
I thought that they paid for it.
No, they were going to, and then they ended up backing out, and they paid X amount of it. I forget exactly. That's why I keep saying X amount. I forget exact, but I'm like, shit, like, okay, that's fine. I'll be making good money. I could pay it back, which I'm still paying it back, but I still owe like 24 grand. And it's like, fuck this thing. You know,
You're still working for them though, right?
Yes, I am.
Part-time.
Yep, I work for them part-time, yeah. So it's kind of cool. I still make good money from them. I mean,
I wonder at the end of it, like if you got out of that and bailed, you should put that into like a severance package.
Well, yeah. So, and I probably could with them, but yeah, that's one of those things that's kind of like, they kind of wrote it out. They were just like, yeah, that's, you know, we'll do that and help you out. And I mean, it's nice though, because it is something under my belt, and I kind of enjoy doing computers, but computers are a pain in the ass at the same time. So that's one thing. It's like, yeah, they're fun, but that's not my calling. My calling would have been like doing in the off-road industry.
Yeah.
But again, even now I'm like, how do I get into that? What do I do? This is years and years later, and I'm like, I still don't know if I'm going to end up in the off-road industry.
Yeah.
It's like, you expect a kid at 18 to know what even I don't know 10 years later.
Yeah.
And it's like, you want
I think some of those dream jobs, you don't end up getting into them by going to college. You end up getting into them, and we probably bagged on those kids like, look at this guy, dude, riding his dirt bike every day. Like, go to school, dude, get a job, bro. Yep. And now look, it ends up being a Blake Wilkie or, you know, those guys. Like, you're just like, you know what? They fell into it. Like, and then you've got, but then there's the other side of it too, where, and here's where I agree with college. If you want to be a doctor, lawyer, an engineer, certain things like that, that's the route you have to take. A nurse,
you already have your mindset to that. That's what I'm saying. You have a handful of people that already have an idea of like, I'm going to become a doctor. I'm going to become this.
I feel like those ones, You either want
You
to help
have
people
to.
and you become a nurse,
Yeah.
or you want to be a lawyer. And the people that I know that ended up being lawyers, they were always going to be lawyers.
Yes,
But for the
exactly.
90% of
Yeah.
us that didn't know what we wanted to
Yep.
do, dude, the last thing I wanted to do was go to a 4-year college and
And
pick
not know what I wanted.
pick an economics degree that was way over my head,
Yeah.
that probably wouldn't do anything for me.
Yep.
I'd barely pass, or pick some, liberal arts degree that's
Yeah.
not going to do anything for me, and I still owe just as much as a lawyer does.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
And that's what I'm getting at. That's kind of what we're talking about. Is just like, are people going to school too early? Should they let these kids kind of venture out and say, hey, what do you have in mind? What do you want to do? And maybe be an apprentice.
Absolutely.
Be a
Get the work experience.
Exactly. Get some experience in that field and say, hey, are you sure you still want to do that? Or do you want to pick a different career and then fall into that? But we're so pushed into going straight from high school to a college
Yeah.
or work. And it's like,
Yeah.
we have no choice after that. It's just like, shit, you're thrown out to the wolves, and it's like, pick what you want.
It's very
And kinda-
rushed.
Yeah. It's
The whole
very,
thing is
very
rushed.
and it's
Now
tough.
I get why so many kids do the year-long, I mean, if you've got the money,
Mm-hmm.
that year-long break, and they go backpacking
Oh,
through
yeah.
Europe or
I
whatever.
wish I could have done something
Try to
like that.
figure out what your calling is. I
Yep.
get it now,
Yep.
because that could potentially show you what you want to do, or save you 40, 50 grand in college, however
Yeah.
much college is. I know it's a lot.
Yeah.
And, you go, I don't want to do college. I found I could go do landscaping in
Yeah.
Germany.
But what's crazy too is like even these like I want to call it like a vocational school or a trade school.
Those are great.
Those are amazing, and
Yeah.
so many people sleep on that because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, oh, I'm not going to be a lineman. I'm not going to be a welder. I'm not going to go into underwater welding. But did you know those are some of the highest paid
Oh,
guys,
absolutely.
like right out of a college, as you could call it, but out of their field. Go do a lineman school, and by the time you're done, you're making what, 120K a year.
Yeah, you're making
And it's
six figures.
But
man.
what is that? Maybe a 2-year. It's about a 2-year course, right? Roughly.
I'm not sure.
It might be less.
There's different. I should know this because I'm in construction, but
Yeah.
for depending on what you want to get
Yeah.
into, like for if you want to be a framer, like your apprentice framer, journeyman framer, master framer, electricians the
Yeah.
same way. Then you've got low voltage and high voltage. You've got different levels of that stuff. But dude, I'll tell you this, like the money that some of the plumbers make or some of the electricians make,
Oh yeah.
that I'm doing, like I'm getting bids on
Yep.
jobs. It's like, are you kidding me?
Yep.
And it's across the board. It's not like this guy's more expensive than the next guy. It's just that's what that trade charges,
Yeah.
because it's labor, it's an art. You got to know what you're doing. You got to do it all right. You got to it's easily worth the money.
Yeah.
And I think that it, like you said, those trade schools get slept on so hard.
Oh yeah. And even just normal jobs where you just need a basic GED. I mean, or you could get into something. I mean, sales. There's
Yeah.
so many things in sales. You can make 120K if you're good at it and
Yeah.
continue with it. All you need is a GED.
Yeah, absolutely.
Usually, and then, or, again, back to like welding. People are like, welders don't make good money. Yeah, they do. Welders make great money. Or I always see on Facebook, those little memes that kind of like,
The tradie memes.
yeah, I think it is, but it was like it's like a cartoon one. It's more of a
okay.
cartoon thing, and it's like a little girl and her mom, and it was like, you keep acting up, and you're gonna be like that guy picking up trash, and then there's a mom and son next to them, right next to them, and be like, see, son, if you work hard, you could join a union, making 80+K a year,
Absolutely.
with retirement and 401K,
Yeah.
and blah blah blah, and all this stuff, and it's like, that's really what it comes down to. You guys don't realize that you can make so much money in some of these fields that not everyone wants, but they're so good. I mean, I'd be a trash person. I wouldn't care.
That's my next topic. So I've got a really good buddy who lives in Norway. I met him, you know him. I met him through Supercross. So he moves back to Norway, and he was always telling me, like, he go, dude, the money in Norway is so much better. It's like three times.
Yeah.
I don't know if it really was, but it's just,
But
he's
it
like,
might be cost of living.
he's
might
like,
be
dude,
higher.
he's like, McDonald's, $80 an hour, bro. $80 an hour. And I was like, no way. He's like, yeah. So then he goes back to Norway after, 6 months or a year of living here.
Yeah.
And he was the guy on the back of the trash trucks in Norway.
Oh, yeah.
And he'd go grab the trash and throw it in the back of the truck. And he'd always film himself. And, like, he was happy. Yeah. He wasn't even making, like, he was making fun of himself, but he wasn't making fun. He wasn't bashing the job or by any means.
Kind of like,
he was just making light of his job.
Yeah.
Because it's a labor-intensive job that most people would be like, dude. A year later, he owns now what's probably one of the biggest trash disposal companies in Norway. It's like the equivalent of like waste management.
Jesus.
He's younger than me, drives a Tesla in Norway, which is way more expensive to get out there.
Yeah.
Like, you can't.
He's doing well.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So good for him.
You can't sleep on anything. Yeah. Even, if you want to go flip burgers and people are bashing on people flipping burgers, you could find out you love flipping burgers and you're the best burger cook on the planet.
You could be like Bob's Burger.
Yeah, exactly. Go open up, but you can open up a burger place. You could find out you love cooking, and that's your passion.
Yep. And next thing you know, it's going to lead you to being in a top end restaurant, flipping the best burger.
And you were so brainwashed by a teacher who makes 60 to 100 grand a year, telling you that you need to know calculus or else you're going to flip burgers.
And that's another that's another thing. It's kind of like, oh, you need to know what is that? Some
Pythagorean theorem?
Yes. When have you used that?
All the time in construction.
God damn it. Bad example, huh? Okay, anyways, on a normal life, you're not going to use that.
No, absolutely not.
But it's like, I mean, again, so I do a lot of credit apps, so I see all kinds of income, everyone's income, really, from a McDonald's worker to a CEO, president, business owner, and just go for it.
I can dip it in there?
Yeah.
I feel like that's double dipping.
That's fine. It's just us. We both have something.
We're dipping our solo cups in chamoy and tahine. But I already drank my beer, and now I'm double dipping in this mush pot of tahine and chamoy.
It's all good. But like the biggest thing that I'm like, wow, I didn't realize makes a lot of money is gardeners. I knew they made money, but
bro,
dude,
dream job. Dream job.
Oh my God.
On God. So I got into this new house, right?
Yeah.
So growing up in high school, I'd wake up in the morning and grab a cup of coffee or whatever, and then go outside, and my mom would be picking weeds or,
whatever,
picking tomatoes off the plants in the side yard, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I never really realized like how much I loved that, but it was so much fun. And then when I got into this house, everything was like overgrown. So
that was
I had so much work to do, and I've never had so much fun in my life doing this kind of stuff.
Oh, it's fun.
So I would start a landscape company in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Just
it's actually very fun. I've got into like planting some plants and growing them in my balcony.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, it's been super fun. Like it's definitely an addicting thing. You kind of run up, okay, let me water them, let me add this, let's see how they do today, and you get to watch them grow, and it's like, wow, this is actually kind of fun. But
yeah, absolutely.
Like I was saying, these gardeners, like I was like, oh, okay, so how much do you make a year? I had to do every month before taxes, but they're a business owner, so
because you're selling cars to them, so
yes.
You know.
Oh. So I know exactly, and that's another thing.
See, that's interesting. So you've got a background on so many different.
Oh yeah.
People doing credit applications. You get to see who makes what.
Yep. And I'm like, hold on, you're buying how many trucks do you need?
Everybody should be a car salesman. You get to know who makes the most money. Yeah, if you like the job or not.
Yep. And you'd be like, oh, are you hiring?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, wait, so you need 3 trucks. You make $12,000 a month cash, but that's only what you want us to know you make. Because damn well they make more, but they don't want to claim it all. I hate to say it, but no, it's true. Get taxed hard.
It's true.
So they never say exactly how much they make. Off the record, they do. They'll tell me I'm like, you make 12? They're like, realistically, I make like 15, 16 grand a month, but I don't claim all the cash. I claim majority of checks and business ones I claim. And it's like, respectable. I understand. Yeah. I mean, you get hit hard, but especially that tax bracket, that's I
Oh,
mean,
absolutely.
30%, in California. That's
It's
crazy.
crazy.
Um, but yeah, you're kind of like, holy crap, these guys are going around doing. I mean, it's laborious. Don't get me wrong; it's a lot of work, but they're making 30, 40, or 15 grand a month. That's what is that? Over 150 a year.
Yeah. That's where
That's
in school, if
and
they would
they're
have
Monday
taught
through
us,
Friday.
instead of teaching us, Pythagorean theorem or whatever,
Yeah.
if they would have taught us how to put our money away,
Oh, yeah.
invest, pay taxes,
Yep.
and do everything else, then we could have learned, hey, here's how you set yourself up for
Yep.
life making 65K a year. Here's how you set yourself up for life making 85K a year.
Yeah.
Because at that point, the hard part with that is, and if anybody's listening to this trying to think of, if you want to start a business or anything, I like look at my close relatives are in the restaurant business.
Yeah.
Right. The only downfall to that is if you don't understand
What you're doing.
with your money, you don't have a retirement.
Mm-mm.
So that's the one big thing about being a business owner is you need to know how to set yourself up long term, put your money away, save and invest, and diversify, and then try to figure out how what's going to set you up the longest, because you're not going to have. So those guys, although they're making 15 grand a month or whatever it is, with that much money you could put it away.
Oh yeah,
You
for
know what I
sure,
mean?
for sure.
But
And that's what's crazy is sometimes you'll talk to someone that's gone to a 4-year, has even done total 7 years in college, and you're like, okay, so what do you do? And they're like, oh, I'm let me think of the last one I had. What did that guy do? Sorry, let me think. Oh, a teacher. Okay, I've had plenty of teachers. Oh, I'm a teacher at so-and-so Unified School District. Okay, so what's your monthly income before taxes? You could put I make $5,500 a month. I'm like, $5,500 a month before taxes? So really, they're bringing home, what, maybe $1,800 every paycheck. That's not that much for a teacher for going to school.
No,
remember, you have to
probably less.
You got to get
you
got to get your bachelor's, and then you have to get your teaching credentials, right, or something like that. I don't know exactly what it takes to be a teacher, but I mean that's on a low end. I've seen teachers make 12
depending
grand.
on the school district.
I've seen teachers
some
make 12
teachers
grand. Don't get me wrong, and
in
I'm
the
like,
hundreds.
Jesus. And you guys always told us you didn't make money.
I know. They just didn't want to buy school supplies.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's kind of like they don't. And that's another thing, how they don't really tell you, like, okay, if this is what you have to do, but hey, if school's not for you, these are the routes you might want to look. These are great opportunities for people. House cleaning, window cleaning, auto detailing, gardening.
And even if there was like a 6-month class.
Yes.
Like not even a full, like they had cooking.
Yes, exactly.
Which
home ec.
Home ec, stuff like that, and like pottery.
Yeah.
Things like that.
I took ceramics. It was pretty dope. But
any high school kid's gonna want to waste a class on
of course,
on pottery or ceramics, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Woodworking is probably worth it. Because
woodworking, I wish we had a woodworking.
Yeah,
woodworking
we didn't have one, but that would have been
that's
cool.
another thing. Yeah,
you can learn how to do. Yeah,
dude,
I mean,
that's
there's a career, but
that's a good one too.
Other things, and not to like shit on ceramics. I mean, there's people out there who have like a true art form.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean, and they can make some good money and stuff on that. But why not have like a 6-month course on how to start and run a business?
That or
not every kid's gonna want to do it, right? Not every kid's cut out for it.
Yeah.
Some kids just want to be the A student and work for somebody.
How to manage
But there's
business.
B students and C students that want to own the company and have A students work for them.
Exactly. And that's kind of me. I was that DF student, and I'll tell you, one day, I mean, it's my goal to own a business, and I'm not gonna take that lightly. I will most likely own a business one day. Whether it be a big business, small business. I will do it. I mean, I've actually had an auto detailing business before.
I remember that.
I did that for a while, and then I decided to stop that to get into full-time into car sales, and said, okay, I'm going to stop that and just continue just car sales and get out of it. But I was only doing that Saturday, Sunday, on the auto detailing, and and I had a photo booth business.
You did? Oh,
Yeah, I did.
I kind of remember that.
Yeah, that's the one actually kind of took off more. I was doing the photo booth business. I was probably making like $2 to $3 grand a month.
Really?
Just cash, just extra. And that was just
doing what, like weddings and stuff?
I was doing weddings. I did first birthdays. I did New Year's Eve party. I actually did a CEO of a big hospital. I went to his house and up in the mountains looking over the beach, which was beautiful.
How do you quote jobs like that?
Pretty much just I had my advertisements up and they would contact me and say, hey, I saw your photo booth. I need you for 4 hours. I said, okay, well, it's $100 an hour, 2 hour minimum. So you're looking at 4 hours, you're looking at $400. I could also bring an extra backdrop where it sets it up so you could have about a group of 15 people take one picture at a time. Or you could set it up where it's only a max of 4 people at a time, but it's $50 extra. And I would do it's like either a $50 extra setup fee, or sometimes I would try them on and say it's $50 extra an hour. And if they'd be like, oh, that's a little too much. And I'm like, okay, well, I could do $100 extra for the entire time.
Yeah, work the deal.
Yeah, so you got to work it right.
Sales,
and sometimes,
baby.
yeah, exactly. And sometimes they'd be like, oh, $50 extra, because you don't know who you're talking to yet.
No,
I could be
absolutely
talking,
not.
like,
Yeah.
again, I could be talking to the CEO of the big hospital, and he'd be like, oh, $50 an hour? Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Done deal.
You know, but if I'm talking to someone that's just doing like a small birthday party, and they're like, that's a little much. But I've had people where I've made like, and then on top of that, they usually tip you.
True. Yeah.
So I was making $400 or $500 a weekend, and then they would tip me another maybe $50 to $100 depending on how long I was there. And just pack up. Took me fucking 30 minutes to set up, 30 minutes to take down, and I was out.
Yeah.
And that was honestly one of the things I wish I would have kept and continued and had like someone run it for me, but I just sold it off and just said I'm done with it too. I kind of got over those little things just because I wanted to see what I could do. I got into something small to see, like, can I do it? Can I even put myself to it? And that photo booth one, I think I would have done very, very well with it. And I was making, like I said, $2 to $3 grand a month, just cash. And it was like, that was nice, but it took my weekends away. So that was kind of the shitty part. It was like, I got to drive out here for the weekend. I got to drive out there for the weekend. And, I actually almost got in with the venue to have them just book me every time they had a wedding.
Ooh.
So that would have been nice. And, but again, I don't have a college degree. I could have been making, and if I would have done that full time, can you imagine? I could have got into schools to do all the photo booth and everything. I could have probably been making 5 to 10 grand a month just on the photo booth if I really, really pushed it hard.
Yeah.
And offered different things at the end of the day. And so that's why we're kind of getting at is like, do you need college? Do you need college to make that? That's kind of what college people make is maybe 5 to 6 grand, max up to 10, 20 grand. If you're 20 grand would be like a lawyer, doctor.
What's crazy for me is like the line of work that I'm in, majority of the people that are my age doing what I do, because I'm very, very young to do what I do.
Yeah.
They have all been to college.
Yeah.
But they all make what I make.
Exactly.
And they're all paying student loans, and I'm not.
Yep. And that's the crazy thing.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of like when we were younger, I had a handful of people that we knew that I was like, dude, this guy's probably not going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Majority of those people are all the most loaded friends that I have now.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody that I thought was like, man, this guy's going to make it. They're nothing. They're just working. I mean, not nothing. I don't mean to bash anybody, but like compared to what, just the difference on the spectrums and how they switched.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just mind blowing. Look at, one of our really, really good friends kicked out of high school, sold weed.
Yeah.
Got caught. And, you never would have thought that he would have done, but it's that hustler mentality.
Oh yeah.
At the end of the day, it's, I'm going to do what I got to do to make money for me.
Yep.
And I'm not saying to do anything illegal, but you can have that mentality, and you can have that mentality and get into sales and
Yeah.
hustle.
And that's the thing. A lot of, honestly, if you look back on, and I wasn't one, but a lot of the salespeople's background is actually, they have a kind of a bad background.
Shady past.
Yeah, yeah. But some of them, and I'm only saying it's a handful, you know, but those are actually the guys that just kill it, dude.
Yeah, because you have to figure out
They know
what
to
it
do.
is that you have to do.
They know what to do. They're so quick thinking, and that's another thing is, like you were saying, you have these guys that don't finish up school or were really bad, blah blah blah. I actually was working with someone that we went to high school with.
Mm-hmm.
That was like a straight A student, very good all throughout high school. Always did his homework, everything like that. And I was like talking to him, and not to bash him, but it's just like, this is kind of what I'm getting at. Is like the whole thing is about this today is, he goes, I said, so what are you doing? He goes, oh, I'm not working right now. I got done with college like 2 years ago and just haven't found a job really.
Yeah.
And
that's the other scary thing.
And I was like, wait, what? And I was like thinking, he's like, yeah, I went to college late, you know, and yeah, I just can't find a job, you know. And I was like, wow, I
don't think it has anything to do with going to college late. I could go to college tomorrow.
That's what I'm saying.
And get a degree, and you know.
But it's just like, wow, like this guy was a straight A student.
Yeah.
He was doing, and I have friends, like you said, that barely even passed or didn't even pass college, and they own their own business,
Yeah.
whether it be in the cannabis business, be in the gardening business,
Yeah.
or house cleaning, whatever it may be.
Some of those people are the smartest people I know.
Yeah.
And if they if you had a gun to their head and you said, do your homework, they would have just blown through it, got 100% on every question,
Yep.
gotten it done, and knocked it out. But
some people are street smart, some people are book smart.
they're just like, you know what, I'm not going to do the homework.
Yeah.
I already know it. I'm not going to do it. Sorry.
Yeah. I know another buddy. He actually didn't do any college, just straight out of high school. Probably makes $200,000 a year. And he's
Is he hiring?
Yeah, no shit, huh? He installs turf.
Yeah.
Installs turf.
I think I know who you're talking about.
And he's just killing it, dude.
Yeah.
Killing it. And it's just like, wow, that's crazy. And you have people out of college that can't even do that. They can't
absolutely
make that
not.
money. They can't. And actually, put it this way: you got people coming out of college that, or even some trade schools that'll never even reach that type of money a year.
What's crazy too, and this is kind of off topic, but
We've kind of gone off topic a lot.
a little bit, yeah.
It's all about them.
But
Same aspect. Go
yeah,
ahead. Sorry.
the like the idea that like there's guys that like, you know, jobs like that get shit on basically, right?
Yeah.
Building,
Yeah.
like say building a house, framing a job, electrical, this or that, you know, being a mechanic and working on cars, whatever. And then there's people that make the same amount of money or less, but think they make more, and and look down on those types of people.
It's because they're business. They're in a business office.
Yeah, it's just,
They're
it's
in an
so
office.
funny because I know people that, you know, are in my line of work that like come to work in suits, and they dress super nice and this and that. But bro, if their sink plugged up,
They wouldn't know what to do.
if their toilet backed up, they wouldn't know how to use a plunger.
Yeah.
They can't cook pasta out of a box. That's mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a lot of just working with your hands and like being able to do anything and provide for, because if you go back, take all like where we're at now, if you go back, like most of these people, their jobs are worthless. Like if you go, you know, what am I trying to say? Like when it comes to the fundamentals of what you actually need to live on this planet, nobody knows how to go. Think about hunting.
Oh yeah.
How many of our friends can say, I wish I could say, I can't. I don't know the first thing about hunting. I'd throw up if I field dressed a deer.
I think I could do that, but I was in the medical field too.
Yeah.
Into that. So I was in the medical field, so I do have a high tolerance of shit like that. But you're right. You can't get an average person and say, okay, go get me a deer. Oops, sorry. Go get me a deer, and we're gonna eat it tonight.
Yeah. Or just the typical honeydew stuff. Like, hey babe, can you fix the sink?
Yep.
Let me call a plumber.
Exactly. We're kind of
You're gonna talk shit on that plumber now?
yeah.
Your wife's sure as hell not.
Yeah,
She thinks he's cute with his plumber's butt, and she's paying him.
Yeah, she's paying him, not you. And that's and yeah, plumbers, dude, they make great money.
Crazy.
Great money. And what they do? They didn't go to college.
No, they just got out, started working.
They worked
their
for
ass
another
off.
plumber.
They learned their trade.
Yep.
They know what they're doing, right? I mean, and you have to have customer service. And to be honest, I don't think you can teach customer service.
You can't.
So you're not going to learn that in school.
Nope.
That's something that you just have to have a good, somebody to follow and take after.
Good leadership.
Yeah, good leadership.
At the end of the day, you kind of have to have like a good heart, because you have to take anybody's story into consideration. It's kind of like, well, this, and then you have to be able to calm someone down. And so you're kind of like, okay, I sympathize with them and be like, I understand. Let's break it down. Let's sit down. Let's relax, and let's continue from there. Let's hold our breath.
Yeah.
Let's take a deep breath.
People
first.
are freaking out. Their houses flood or whatever it is,
and they're screaming at you because they want it fixed, but you're like, I didn't do it. Why are you yelling at me? And you
gotta flood your house.
Exactly, and you got to take a step back and then go forward.
Yeah,
and
you have to know deal with all the situations. Yeah, and then hit them with the bill.
Yep,
like all that little stuff that you might touch on it in college. Yeah, maybe, but I don't.
And see, we're kind of going off topic, but like about the whole take a step back customer service. I was getting my haircut the other day, and a guy calls into the shop. Hey, did I leave my glasses? Blah blah blah. Yeah. Oh, I got your glasses right here. Okay, sounds good. Comes down. He walks in and he goes, hey, I left my glasses. And he goes, oh yeah, they're right here. He goes, yeah. I'm way too busy throughout this day. I don't even know why I'm having to come back here to get these.
Like it's the barber shop's fault for his dumbass leaving his glasses?
Exactly, yes. And the guy that's cutting my hair is actually one of the owners. And he was like, oh, sorry, we apologize, have a great day. The guy walks out. And I kind of stopped there and I was like, was he just blaming you for his mistake of leaving his glasses? He goes, yeah. What the fuck was that? Because I know the guy, so we bullshit all the time. He goes, yeah, what the fuck was that? I wanted him to just be like, I could have just told him, no, I don't have your glasses, and kept them. Yeah. He goes, but I don't, like, that's not us. That's not our shop. And you have to have customer service, and that's something you don't learn. Being respectful to people, you don't learn. Some people just don't have it in them. No, they're never going to learn it. They will never learn it.
And they're never going to, they're not going to ever be able to do it. Like I've got guys that
get them nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. But I've got guys that work with me, and like you can't teach people common sense, really.
No, you can't. And that's another thing. And
so some of you aren't going anywhere, and it's not up to college or not. Some of you guys.
But that's another thing is some people lack common sense.
Yeah.
And that's where college is actually best.
Yeah,
because
absolutely. Yeah.
You lack the common sense and you just can't do a day-to-day thing because you're just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. And it's like, that's common sense.
Well, I think that's a lot of the, like going back to when I said earlier that, A students work for C students.
Yeah.
You can work your ass off and be super, super book smart. Yep. Super socially awkward. Can't communicate well with others. Yep. Maybe you don't work well with us. Whatever it is. Maybe you're really, really nice, but you don't know how to talk to people and you come off like an ass. Yeah. Just there's so many different types, like personality traits and just characteristics in people that, maybe sales or starting your own business isn't going to work for you. Mm-hmm. You can go to college and go work for somebody, and you can make 70 grand, 80 grand, 100 grand, maybe 50 grand, depending on where you make 200 grand working for somebody else. If that's what you want to do, great. Yep. Is it always going to happen just because you went out and got a college degree? No, absolutely not.
Unfortunately, and that's
because I know way too many people who have gotten college degrees and acted like they're so much better than everybody else around them.
But they don't even go in the line of work that
they can't find a job.
Yep.
Yeah, they can't.
And they're like, damn, why did I choose that?
Yeah, they're super underpaid.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, and those people went in at 18. They didn't know what they wanted to do.
No, absolutely not.
They didn't know what they wanted to do.
No.
And it's like, I wouldn't. I'll tell you right now.
I still don't know what I want to do.
Exactly. If I went to college, I probably would have went for business because I've always been like, I've always been like business type, and that's kind of what I want. I would probably would have went for business admin.
Yeah.
But if I got out, what if I didn't even want to do that? That's just something I wanted to do. And luckily, I kind of always stuck with that, but I never followed through. I never said, oh, I'm going to go to college for, business admin. Technically, you don't even need to do that shit. You could go open your own business at your city hall for $150. You could get a fictitious business name and then get a business license for about $150, $200 total. And now you own your own business.
Dude, I remember I was working at a restaurant. And this guy asked me, hey, what do you want to do? And I told him at the time, law enforcement. He goes, oh, awesome.
I wanted to do that.
And he's like, are you in school? And I said, yeah. And he's like, what are you going to school for? And I was like, well, I'm taking a bunch of law enforcement classes. And he's like, you know what, man? That's the dumbest thing you can do.
Yep.
And I was like, what? Why? He's like, you don't need law enforcement degree to go into law enforcement.
You don't need shit. High school diploma.
I thought that guy was the dumbest.
Good record.
I'm like, what do you? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. What? Like, who wouldn't? I took all these law enforcement classes. Yeah. Who wouldn't hire me after all these law enforcement classes? At 18, 19 years old, trying to fill out a background check for a law enforcement, I thought I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to nail this.
Yeah.
Dude, I found that packet. I don't know if I told you this. Found that packet of all my answers because I photocopied everything. So I had record. And then I turned it in. Have you read them since you did it?
No.
Dude, I just read them. My brain was like, don't do it. I was moving and I found the whole box full of stuff.
Oh, God.
My brain's like, do not read any of this.
Oh, God.
Don't read what you put down when you're 18, 19 years old. So I open it up,
20,
start reading it. And I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? Just the way I was answering these questions, like going back to like, you don't know, like you're still growing up.
Exactly. You don't know these things.
Yeah.
And
I wish I would have just, if I was going to, like, because I did the college thing, I wish I would have done, I would have known prior, but I didn't. So I guess now in retrospect, I wish I would have done something more general, I guess, for my AA.
Yeah, of course.
But now, realistically, my AA doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And the guy that hired me, when he told me he was going to hire me, he said, I'll hire you out of college. And I go, okay. I go, what should I get a degree in? And he goes, well, I think maybe economics or marketing or this or that. And he goes, at the end of the day, I don't really care what you get your degree in. I go, what do you mean by that? And he goes, look at college as showing to your employer, keyword, your employer, if you want to be employed for somebody. Look at college as showing to your employer that you're willing to put in 4 years of extremely hard work for somebody and get through a big project like that. Because your employer will look at that like, oh, okay, like he's willing to put in the work and do this.
Yeah.
And that's a great way to look at college if you're going to college. If you want to go work for yourself and do something else, maybe
what you want.
Yeah, maybe go find a job as a tradesman and figure that out and open your own business.
Yep. And like you're saying,
that was a ramble.
But what you're saying though is employers will look at your degree and say, okay, so he went to, and they judge you off of it. What school?
That's so ridiculous to me.
And they went, okay, this person went to, they went to a prestigious school, or they just went to.
As if they know all the professors at all the schools.
Exactly. Oh, they went to a base. They just went to a local college instead of, you're from.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of, you're from Utah and you went to just your local school. Oh no.
BYU.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got another one that's like, oh no, I decided to venture out and go somewhere in Massachusetts. And they're going to be like, oh, the guy who went to Massachusetts, he took a bigger risk. Let's hire him. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, that's true. Looking at risk like that.
Exactly. He took a risk. He's willing to sacrifice a lot more, and he finished in a great school. Let's hire him. Compared to the guy that just stuck to his local college and just said, I'm going to go here.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he sacrificed less. And it's like, wow, you don't realize it, but people actually do look at shit like that, you know, like, well, he just went to a Cal State and he graduated in this. It looks like he graduated in 5 years. He probably could have done this in 3, but okay.
Do you think employers look at stuff like that?
100%.
See,
because I did interviews.
Yeah, I do interviews all the time, but my interviews are different because I'm interviewing tradesmen who are like.
I sat in interviews with lab when I was in the lab. I worked in pathology, and I've been with them for 10 years, right out of high school, luckily.
But that's one of those jobs where that matters.
Exactly.
In the medical industry.
Exactly.
That matters.
So the doctors would be looking at it like, oh, wow, look at so-and-so went to UCLA and graduated and, you know, they're top of their class with this, or so-and-so went to Loma Linda University or Cedar Sinai. Cedar Sinai's like, actually, or they did their training at Cedar Sinai, which is a huge hospital in LA, or they went to a big hospital in wherever it may be. They look at that and they say, okay, so they must be well trained.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, half the time when they hired those people, they weren't the best. They ended up replacing them. They ended up replacing them with someone that was actually on a lower scale.
That just made me think.
On the lower scale was kind of like, they were able to focus on, well, one, the professors don't have such a big class. They're just kind of like, they're able to kind of focus on little things throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, oh yeah, I have all these people, I don't give a shit how you do. Just
500
either
people
pass
in the
or
class.
pass or fail.
So, my cousin in Michigan works for a big car company, right?
Okay.
Does research development
Mm-hmm.
and does like the testing for. He works in what's called like body group.
Okay.
So handling the body, the performance, all that stuff. He used to be in emissions where they'd test like the emissions, but like the air conditioning on all that stuff too.
Airflow and all that.
He's been working with this company, I mean, massive car manufacturer for, I mean, years and years.
Yeah,
I think he worked at like Wendy's or something.
As long as I've known him.
As long as you've known, yeah. So I think probably since he was 17. And what he did, he was working at Wendy's forever, flipping burgers, making money, getting through school. No problem with that. Had a job, learning how to, you know, go do a daily job and your responsibilities. And then his dad said, hey, why don't you come into the lab and work with me and like learn how to do this stuff. So at first he's basically doing like an unpaid internship. Learned all the ins and outs.
But see, that's what they need. That's what
Absolutely.
people need.
Absolutely.
Is an unpaid internship, and that should be your senior year of high school.
Exactly.
I
That'd be great.
think that should be your senior year of high school.
So, dude, he gets into this job. He applies. Obviously, they all know him now. They all like him. He knows what he's doing. Why wouldn't we hire him? Obviously, he can do it. He's been working for us for free for this many years, or a year, whatever it was. And he was telling me, he's like, dude, we're hiring engineers out of college that have zero clue what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, not even the slightest. They bring stuff up like, oh, you know, blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, I get it. You're an engineer. You just got out of college and you got like all these super high expectations. But like, let me explain to you how real life works, bud. And some of them are making, you know, the same amount or more than him. But it's funny that you bring that up. That, you know, just because you got that degree doesn't mean that
you're not promised anything.
Those guys got lucky getting into that job.
Oh, yeah.
Just realistically, if my cousin is going to figure out, hey, this guy doesn't know shit,
well,
it doesn't take long before the boss goes, yeah, so what? He's an engineer. He doesn't know shit. Fire him.
Some places like that, depending where you're at, like to hire fresh because of you can mold someone
Yeah, absolutely.
to your company. You hire someone with experience, they're already stuck in their ways. And that was our thing. Like when I did the hiring, I would always say, oh, this is a younger person. They don't have any lab experience. Let's hire them. They wouldn't want to do it. And then they always hired, and again, it was just my decision. It wasn't the company, but they'd hire someone else with the experience, and it never worked out. It never did. Never did. And I'm like, finally they did it. And those people are still there.
Yeah.
At the company. And it's like, see, that's all it takes. That's all it takes is being able to mold someone to how you want it. And that's when it comes to those internships, like you're saying. If you did senior year of high school internships, say, hey, what do you want to do for a living? Let's say you said, I want to be a firefighter, a police officer. I want to do a doctor. I want to be a doctor. I want to do something, whatever it may be. Okay, you're getting one semester in, like, it could be your beginning semester and semester. You get one period or 2 periods or whatever it may be of your class. You're going to go to wherever it may be an intern and see if you like it. If you don't like it, then you know what to do in college.
Yeah.
It gives you an idea. If you like it, you stay there. Maybe they'll offer you a job, or you go to college. Then they'll offer you a job if you need the college experience. If not, you might be able to get in without it. You never know.
I'm pretty sure that's how other countries work.
Well, some countries just say, you're 12 years old, you're working. I hate to say it. That's,
Yeah, I mean,
I saw a video the other day, and it was down in Mexico, and these guys are like, they Snapchat they're like, this is my Uber. I don't know if you saw that.
No.
The Uber was it was like a 12, 13-year-old kid.
Come on.
No driver's license, just like seat all the way up, driving him down, and they put it on him, and he just like throws up the peace sign and continues to drive him in his Uber. And it's like, that's a hustler. That's a kid that, well, obviously he has to make the money for his family. Mexico is they just don't make the money.
I want to hear a funny one, so this just reminded me of this. We're going on almost an hour.
Yeah.
Wrap it up soon.
Yeah.
So last story from me. My uncle they're all from Italy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Grew up in Sicily. They moved here in 1972. My uncle needed to find a way to make money when he was in Sicily. So he decided he was going to be a barber. He's going to cut people's hair.
People sleep on that too. They
Dude,
make money.
He was like 8 years old and had not the slightest idea how to cut hair.
He cut yours still, huh? I can tell.
Yeah. So he would go out on the street and tell people that he knew how to cut hair.
Oh, God.
And he was charging people for haircuts and just fucking up people's hair all day. At like 8 years old.
But they paid.
My dad said he got chased around the street one day. Some guy just chased him like, you motherfucker, give me my money back, give me my money back. And my uncle just running around the streets of Sicily like, no.
That's horrible. Yeah, but again, kind of to go back to the original thing was college isn't for everyone. If you're thinking about college, make sure you get into the right thing. If you're not thinking about college, don't feel bad.
Yeah.
There's still plenty of opportunity out there for you to make money. Don't think that you're going to be stuck at a dead-end job. You can get into somewhere to make you some great money.
And take your time.
Oh, definitely.
Like
take
if you feel like if you feel like you want to do high school and work a couple years and then you want to go to college, I think that's another huge fact that we probably didn't touch on enough or at all is a lot of people are like, yeah, I don't want to be that guy that's like 26 starting college. Why not?
Do it.
Who cares? There's plenty of people that go to the military and come out because they're geniuses.
Yeah.
They go to the military. They get their college paid for.
Yeah.
And then they come out, they're 26 years old starting college.
Yep.
What's
you're
wrong
right.
with that?
There's nothing wrong at all. And that's,
Take your time. Figure it out. If you want to go, take your time. Figure out what. Because either way, if you think you're going to go to college, you probably should take your time. Because either way, you're spending 50 grand, 60 grand.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's you start
Take your
today or
time.
you start in
Make
5
sure
years.
you actually.
Make sure it's worth it.
Yeah. Make sure you're gonna.
Something you want to do.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and enjoy it.
Yeah.
College is. It's my wife went and I got to enjoy part of it, and it was fun. It was.
Yeah, I went and partied with my friends that were in college.
Yeah, it's a fun time.
I got all the experiences of it, but
Yeah.
I'm not 60 grand down.
Exactly. I didn't go into that, but yeah, I went to more of a trade school end of it, which wasn't nothing. It was nothing like that. But again, don't feel rushed. Make sure you know what you want to do. If you don't go to college, don't let that beat you up. Do not let that sink into the back of your head and say, I failed, because you did not fail. You can continue to be great, and you can succeed without a college degree. You can succeed with just a high school degree, diploma, or GED, and make plenty of money. Do not think you cannot.
You failed if you paid 60 grand for college and wasted all your fucking money.
Exactly, and you're not doing what you want to do.
Yeah, that's where
then
you
you
failed.
But if you decide, you say, hey, I'm gonna open up my own business, just hope that you're doing it right, and if it happens, it happens. If not,
you're gonna have failure.
Exactly, you're gonna have failure, but just keep going. Don't let it bring you down. There's a next opportunity, and don't let college get in that way if it's not for you. Not everyone does school. I'm not book smart, but I could say I'm pretty street smart and could handle my own when it comes to little things here and there. I could do my own things. I'm very witty. I could come up with something off the fly. If you say, hey, something's not working here, I guarantee you I could get it fixed for you. And that's kind of the mentality you want to continue with, to be able to succeed to something without a college degree. Or even if you don't, just do you continue.
Figure it out.
Yeah, figure
out what you like.
Because
go slow. Don't overthink it.
Take your time.
Don't live up to other people's expectations of you.
Yeah.
Do what's going to make you happy.
Yeah, make sure that anything you do in life is going to make you and yourself happy first off. But if you have kids or a wife, make sure they're on board with everything and make them happy. But other than that, just ride it out. Don't let college. Don't think that college is the only way.
It's not going to make you or break you.
And do not sleep on those trade
jobs.
Schools, because those trade jobs, you can make amazing money and only spend $15,000-$20,000 max on some of these courses for about 6 months to a year, and you could come out making
60 to 120K.
Yeah, minimum, I would say.
So closing out, I actually wrote a closing out song that I'd like to sing.
Oh God,
I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say, what the fuck? But yeah, that's gonna sum it up for us here, guys. It was just, I know we kind of got off topic at some point. If you made it this far, again, we appreciate it, and we hope you listen to us on the next one. We don't know what we'll be talking about just yet.
I have good news though.
What?
I checked today, 27 views on our first video and 1 subscriber.
Wow.
I've never been happier in my life, dude.
I know. I like that.
I know.
Hey,
whoever the first subscriber was, if you can leave a comment, we're going to shout you out in the next one.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure it out today who it was.
I couldn't see it.
I don't know.
I saw it too, but I haven't looked on
whoever that subscriber
I looked,
is.
but I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
I'll be able to look it up.
There's not like where you can click on like Instagram
I could
followers.
It's on YouTube, and I could look on there. I just haven't actually.
I was trying to figure it out on my phone today.
I
wanted to write him a little message.
But I can do it. But again, leave a comment. Guys, leave comments on what you want us to talk about. If you would like us to talk about anything specific, we will be talking next week. I think we might be talking about
Social media.
social media.
Sasquatch.
Yeah.
I really
D
want
wants to talk about Sasquatch
so bad. Like
we'll be
5 hours of YouTube videos today. I believe he's real now.
So we'll be talking about different things every episode now. We decided to kind of pinpoint it to one specific category per podcast, and hopefully we could get more listeners in and get you.
First
guys
one's kind of introductory.
Yeah, it was kind of like
we partied a little bit.
Yeah, we did have a little fun.
We got pretty hammered.
Yeah, so
the rest of them will be more one topic based.
Still getting hammered.
Conversation pieces like this. Yeah, we finished a couple beers.
Yeah, just a couple. So again, guys, thank you again for listening in. This is Jay. Thank you for listening into the Shadow Room.
This is D. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.